Hola, gamers. So we're going to get right into it, into this speed build. I wanted to start by collecting all of the things that we got and some of the expensive items, and his guitar, of course, and how to sell your property. And then we're going to go on to how to buy a new property. The property that we're buying is not too far from where we were. I did think about getting a property near the museum. I know that as an NPC, Kareem's home is closer to the museum, but I like this neighborhood, and I saw this lot and got a bit of a little storyline going. So if you see, the lot is quite abandoned and it's smack dab between a commercial property and a manufactured home that's a little unkept. So I thought maybe Kareem got this lot pretty inexpensively and wanted to renovate and build a tiny home on the property. I did think I was going to use that shipping container, as you saw. So I put it in my inventory, but I tried to make it work and it didn't work at all. There aren't textures in the game yet that kind of match the shipping container. And you'll see later that I did try with some of the wallpapers, but they just weren't cutting it. But I like the idea of staying within the footprint of this foundation. Um, I only built out a little extra in the back because, again, I thought I was going to use that shipping container as a room. Um, but yeah, this build mode was interesting to get used to, I would say. It's very intuitive, but I feel like the camera was um, a little all over the place. Okay, I began building this a few days ago, so I was still blind reacting to the game. Since then, I have watched some other Paralives gameplays and builds, especially Devin Bumpkins. I have already mentioned how much I was itching to watch his content. So I see that I'm not the only one that was struggling with this camera. I do hope that the devs make the camera a little smoother. I thought it was just a me problem. Here I am making the bathroom, and I tried a few layouts with the bathroom. So I don't build like other builders do. I know many people create the whole entire shell first, and then they work within that footprint. But I like to build, especially in a new game when I don't know what items are available to us or how big those items are. I don't have that spatial awareness yet. So I wanted to build and leave myself room to be able to edit. This is the footprint that I stick to. Um, so I will work on the roof and everything later. But I just wanted to give myself that leeway. I do change some of the interior walls, but not too many of them. Here I am building the kitchen. I try to make the dishwasher work, but this kitchen was just too small. I didn't want to make it bigger because then that would give me a smaller area for the living space. Um, I also was trying to get used to building the cabinets as well. And yeah, I just tried a few things out, and you'll see me fussing with that for a bit. I did edit some of this out because I was on the kitchen for quite a while. And I never really like furnishing bathrooms. I just feel like there's just so many different motifs you can do with a bathroom. So I didn't take too many screenshots of the bathroom in the beginning. It's just a typical regular old bathroom, right? So here I am looking for items for the bedroom. I wanted to give Kareem that bed that he loved so much. And again, I was just looking at the items, seeing what flowed well with each other. I didn't know what theme or decor style I was going with yet. I hadn't looked at any of the items yet, so I was just pulling things out that spoke to me and then trying to get them to work together. Again, I don't start with wallpapers. I know some people, when they build, they go into the interior and start with wallpapers, but I really wanted to focus on getting to know the items, becoming familiar with the items. And I have to say, we do have a lot of items for early access, but so I'll have to apologize if my audio sounds differently, but I didn't realize until editing that my audio file corrupted midway through. So I'm having to re-record this voiceover. But as I was saying, I do like the amount of items we have. I wasn't expecting as many items in early access, but I feel like the items are very matchy. We have certain styles, like we have the Scandinavian kind of IKEA stuff, we have some traditional things, a few mid-century modern pieces, and then a few little funky outliers. Um, but it's hard to mix and match those items. And I think for storytelling, it's gonna make creating dynamic stories a little difficult. So I do know that the devs are going to be releasing more content once we have full access to the game. But I hope that they think about making sure that the items can be mixed and matched, right? Like, I don't want to create a world of only Scandinavian um, items or only traditional items. I want to be able to create an environment that's eclectic and looks actually lived in. Um, so anyway, so I move away from the bedroom to now continue out my layout. Again, at this moment, I didn't know what I was going to be creating. I was just, you can see me going category by category to look at the items and just pull out whatever speaks to me. So some of these items in here will change. The colors will definitely change. I mean, having a color wheel is a blessing and a curse, okay? I mean, being able to pick exact color codes keep me in build mode for hours, okay? Hours. Yeah, I am looking forward to creating stories. Creating save files is one of my favorite things to do in game. I never actually shared a save file because, I wasn't a content creator when I played The Sims, but I'm looking forward to being able to do that here when we get the capability of doing that later on. I will be changing this couch out. This couch just wasn't working. I definitely will be changing that chair. That chair was not working for Kareem. This build is in the Steam workshop. I followed a tutorial by Prison Puff. I hope I'm saying the name correctly. I'll link it, her video, down below. It really helped me as a Steam noob to learn how to upload so that I could share this build and you guys can put it into your games if you like the build as well. Your build, if you choose to upload it, will look a little different than mine, than it will at the end of this video. But if you see from the screenshots in the beginning, everything was player tested, and I did have to change a few things to make sure that routing worked during player testing. So not too many major changes, but a few minor things just to make sure that your parafolk can walk around freely. And everything does work. Okay, I didn't realize how hard it was to waffle on during a voiceover. It's so easy for me to continue to waffle during gameplay. So now I'm getting into picking the floors and wallpapers. I do start with floors and wallpapers before I pick the colors of the items because I always feel like flooring and wallpaper is a little less forgiving, right? Like you can easily change the color of a couch, but you can't change the print on wallpaper, right? And as I began to pick the wallpapers that spoke to me, started to think about one of my childhood friends. He and his husband will be celebrating their 1 year wedding anniversary the day after this is uploaded. And I'm actually having dinner with them right after I record this voiceover. I'm trying to hurry up and re-record so that I can get to them in time. But so they both have amazing style, and my childhood friend's husband is an interior designer. So they just moved into their apartment um, a few months ago, and their space is just amazing. I literally stole that dark green and dark blue directly from their space. So, guys, if you ever watch this, sorry, not sorry. But I felt like the aesthetic of their apartment matched the storyline that I wanted for Kareem. Kareem is artsy. He's a bachelor, but not a Chad, right? So I felt like he would have fun with color. Um, and I love making colorful, eclectic builds in games like these. It's easier to live vicariously through our parafolk and be bold in a game than it is to be as bold in real life, right? In real life, my apartment is pretty neutral, but yeah, it's easier to have fun in the game. So I felt like this colorful, eclectic aesthetic uh, did fit Kareem's vibe. And um, I was glad that that inspiration came to me. I usually do build from reference sometimes. Oh, well, most of the time. A lot of my builds in The Sims 4 are from um, Zillow listings that inspired me, or blueprints of layouts of homes that I like. So I went into this build completely blind and just vibing off of the lot. So when the reference to my friend's apartment came to me, the builds became a whole lot easier. I wanted to make Kareem's space artsy but still masculine. So while I am being bold with color, I still wanted to give him some deeper colors as well. And like I said, I went into building this blind. So while my kitchen footprint does work, I do move the microwave uh, when I player test it because there wasn't a free counter space. But while the kitchen does work. I have since watched other builders build, and I know that there are better ways to build a kitchen, but this kitchen works. And it's small anyway, so the way I built it didn't bother me. Later, I'll come in with some windows and shelving to have a sort of open concept for the kitchen. Now, one thing about the windows, I don't notice now, but because I put my windows in from the interior, which is what I usually do, I don't build my windows from the outside in. I build them from the inside out because for me, it's important that my windows match my layout. And then, if I have to tweak them from the outside, I will. But yeah, I'll fix the problem with my windows later. We'll talk about that more when we get to it. So, part of the reason why I build my windows from the inside is because we play inside our homes more than we do outside. And it's not that I don't want the outside to look nice, the windows do still look nice from the outside, but the inside is more important, I think. I also put in this door in the bedroom because of where the table is near the front door. When we get Kareem a boo, I wanted to make sure that having multiple paras on the lot, that if someone was sitting at the table, that the other paras would have another exit out of the home. So you see here how I'm positioning the windows inside the bedroom because, I mean, there's really no backyard in this space. So we're not going to be playing from the back of the home. And yet the back of the home will still look nice when you do an overview of the house. So that's just the way I do things. Also, these stairs do work. They may need a little bit of tweaking, but they do work. Now, I do forget to put a curtain on that bathroom window. Um, hmm. Well, listen, if your para is an exhibitionist, then go ahead and download this lot, get it into your game. If not, feel free to add a curtain yourself because there's definitely no curtain in that build. This is where I start getting into the details of it all, adding layers and textures and making the home look lived in, right? I don't want a lot of clutter for Kareem space. I mean, I do enjoy making a very clutter-filled space if it matches the personality of the para that is going to be living in the space. But for Kareem, I don't feel like he would be overly messy because he has the neat trait. So I feel like Kareem would like things in order, even though the space is small. So the clutter items that I use in his space are just to help tell the story, not to overwhelm the space. So after putting up the curtains, I started to mess around with the rugs, and I feel that there are some limitations. I think maybe when I have some time, we could play around with some colors and sort of create our own rugs. But as the rug stands right now, I would like a little more variety. Here is where I use the color codes. And, I go a little ham, I'm not gonna lie. I edit some of that stuff out. But for this space, I did feel like it made sense to match some of the items because if we're saying that Kareem built himself a nice space on a budget, I imagined him going to IKEA for many of the items. And, I feel like it's easy to fall into the matchy-matchy thing when you're shopping for all of your home decor items at once, especially from a place like IKEA, right? So, now I like this chair in the corner. I didn't want to put it near the bathroom. And Kareem is able to get into the bedroom just fine. The door does clip into the chair a bit when it opens, but that didn't bother me, so I left it there. But I felt like it was important to give Kareem like a little reading nook. Here I get into the lighting for the evening. For lighting design, I wanted Kareem to just have a vibe for his space. I don't like making my builds bright. Um, I guess maybe other creators do so for filming. So if I need to change the lights when filming gameplay, I'll do that later. But I like building a mood with lights. And so when I upload my builds, I will always upload them with moody aesthetic lighting that matches the vibe for the builds and the paras that will be living in the builds. But for now, I don't see this type of lighting being a problem in gameplay. Even in the dead of night, it's still pretty visible. And I'm not trying to be shady towards pro content creators. I'm new to this space. I know that they make decisions based on what's best for camera, but I know also from personal experience when you're a fan and you're downloading that build, then you have to change all the lighting for your own gameplay because it just doesn't fit the mood of what you're going for in your game. So I just want to be clear about that. I'm not trying to throw shade at anyone. And after lighting, I get into the clutter items, and you'll see I'm literally just going category by category and looking at all the items, seeing what might fit in a specific space, and taking it from there. This is how I build. This is how I become familiar with items in a game, or even when we get new items. This is how I do it. So I hope you're enjoying watching the way I build. I know I can't be unique. I hope there are others out there that build this way as well. And know that we are not alone. Right? I always build in layers, right? So I worry about my layout first, then I pick items based on the story that I'm trying to tell. Then I go in for the textures and colors. Then I go in with clutter, windows, and I haven't even built the roof yet. It's coming, don't worry, I will build a roof. But yeah, I kind of, jump in various ways. So I've tried to build the way I see other creators build, moving from the outside in. I mean, people even finish their landscaping and everything before they go into the interiors, and that scares the crap out of me. Like, I mean, you'd ruin your landscaping if you have to move a wall, right? Like, so landscaping is always the very, very, very last thing I work on. And there's not a lot of landscaping that I do on this property because it is such a small property. And, you know, Kareem doing this on a budget just matched the idea that he wouldn't do much with the landscaping yet. But also, I did try downloading this myself to make sure that everything was okay, and the landscaping didn't come with. So, I tried bulldozing the lot and all of that, but I don't know if the devs are aware of this, so it is something I'll look into reporting. But if not, then I hope they do fix that because none of the I don't do a lot of landscaping, but none of it came with the builds. As I was going through the different categories, I started to see some of these detailed items, and I know they're not functional, but putting items like this in the game just make it look more real. Okay, and here is where I see that there's a problem with my windows. I try to put some shades in the bedroom and the shades were clipping through the window, and then I realized, aha, my windows are on backwards. So I do fix that, and all the windows should be facing the right way. You let me know in the comments if I missed any of the windows. And I apologize if you do download this. And as I said, every single window has covering except for that bathroom window. So um, that bathroom is perfect for exhibitionist paras. I definitely wanted to give this back door a covering as well, since this side of the home uh, butts up against that unkempt neighbor's home. But I don't think not having a window covering in the bathroom matters all that much since there's a business on the other side of this lot. So there's nothing to see but a wall. So here is where I'm picking out the things from Kareem's inventory, the stuff we bought at the museum, um, and finding space for them. I was trying to find the space, but I don't like how we have to switch into player mode to get the inventory items. I wish we could just pull them straight out of build mode. I mean, it is seamless, but it's an extra step that can be avoided, I think. But I sell all the duplicates of stuff. Oh, and that amethyst that's on the couch there. Listen, I don't know what happened to that amethyst. I put it there temporarily just to get stuff out and it got stuck. Like I said, since building this, I have watched other people building, and I know that this is a known issue that the devs know. Later, I had to save my game and step away for dinner. So when I came back and reloaded the game, that amethyst wasn't there. So I'm not sure what happened to it. I don't know if it's still in my inventory or if it poofed away, but I'm just glad that it's gone because the amount of time that I spent trying to delete or move that piece of amethyst, um, yeah, I edited a lot of it out, but I was probably there for about half an hour before I had to step away for dinner. And I was worried I'd had to restart. But yeah, when I reloaded into the game, the amethyst was gone. And as I said, I know that other people have had similar issues, and I know the devs are aware and working on the issue. So if you encounter the same thing, just save your game, exit, reload, and hopefully, the item is gone. And again, I'm just layering for texture. I tried to put a pillow on this chair, and I know I could have used the toggle movement, but you'll see later that I do use that toggle move, the advanced toggle move on other items, and it doesn't always work all that well. It worked nicely in the kitchen, but not in the bathroom, and we'll see that soon. Here on the front porch, I didn't want too much. I just wanted to create some more living space. And the foundation paint was a little off as well, but I believe that is fixed itself. Um, in the upload, so that shouldn't be a problem if you download this onto your into your game. And here I am working on the roof. Now that I know for sure that I'm not changing any walls, now is when I work on the roof, right? So maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just an indecisive builder, but you know, I just don't want to have to redo any of my work, So this is just how I do things. And let me know if you build a little differently than most of the content creator community. And again, it's no shade to how other people build. I know that, I'm the outlier here, and I wish that I had the confidence to build the way they do, because I know it does make for nice speed build footage, but for me, um, I rather not make a decision until I'm positive about that decision. Here I go fixing a few more of the windows. Just tweaking a few things here and there. I also want to say that what you're hearing in the background is the in-game soundtrack, which is available on Steam, and I think it's really awesome. And here is where I put some clutter items in the kitchen. Again, minimal clutter because Kareem is a neat guy, so I didn't want to give him much. But because I didn't put any kitchen cabinets on the wall, I wanted to give him shelves full of things. I had to get rid of that toaster when I went into player test this because I needed space on the counter for Korean to prep. Here I am using the advanced toggle move tool, and it worked on the mug just fine. That mug is still there. Oh, but when I went to try to use it on some plates, which I edited out, it didn't quite work so well. So I used these stacked plates instead. I didn't want to use the stacked plates because I wanted to give Kareem different color plates that, made it look like he got them over time, like these stacked bowls and mugs. But yeah, stacking the plates didn't work so well. So um, I went with the stacked plates instead. So if you're a Sims player, you know that there are just staple items that must be in every build, right? Like plants and this item. Gotta give him a fruit bowl on the table. I just felt that, if he bought fruit, like where else would he put them, right? This is a small space and you gotta make do with every inch of your space when it's small. Here I was imagining I was going to do a gallery wall, and I do put some pictures up, but I didn't like a lot of the picture options. Again, at the time that I was building blind. I now know that we can input our own pictures into these frames. So I'm curious as to how that would work and whether or not inputting our own photos will then work to have them in your game if you choose to download them. So I might try that with my next build whenever I get to building a little more in the game. And again, here I am looking for a few more clutter items just to make this wardrobe or this clothing rack look more developed. Nothing too big, too much. And I contemplated giving Kareem some green clothes since, I haven't been in the para maker yet. And, Kareem is still rocking his green plaid MPC shirt, but it just didn't fit the bedroom's aesthetic. So I went with the blue clothes instead. And I just kept going through the clutter items, seeing what's available, seeing what might work in Kareem's space. I did see a yoga mat that I wanted to give him because, our boy has been joining the group yoga classes outdoors, so he should have his own mat. And again, I think that we have a huge variety of clutter items that could work well in any build. My critique earlier was more about the furniture items, not clutter. Oh, and don't worry about the tissues on the nightstand, right? Kareem is a bachelor after all. And, everyone in town has allergies, right? So he has to be careful, right? Right? That's an OG Sims 1 reference. Like, tell me we didn't all put a tissue box on the nightstand. If you played The Sims 1, you put a tissue box on the nightstand. Don't play with me. But here I am in the bathroom playing with the advanced toggle move tool again. I wanted the toothpaste and toothbrush to be on the mirror. And when I put down this rug, they disappeared. So I don't know where they went, but I decided not to fuss with them. It wasn't that important. And we're coming near the end of this build. Like I said, I don't fuss too much with bathrooms unless I'm doing a big, fantastical, different kinds of bathroom. But bathrooms tend to all be the same at the end, right? Um, and here we are just tweaking a few things. Remember to click the link below if you'd like to put this into your game. I didn't do a lot with the landscaping, but again, it's not joining you if you decide to download this into your game. But again, thank you for watching. If you made it to the very end, then you're a real one, and only you can call me Pix. In any case, thank you for watching me build Kareem a new home. Oh, we can't forget a plant. I didn't put any interior plants. There it goes. Adios.